4 MP9 skins, all pumped within the same week. Just a few days ago, we thought it was random. China just picked a new set of guns and decided to pump all of their factory new variants. That was until I saw this photo. Well, would you look at that? The same 4 skins that were pumped. Welcome to the Chinese CS2 market. Lifestyle influencers in China don't talk about crypto or drop shipping, they talk about Counter-Strike skins. And as we're seeing and experiencing right now, it seems to be working and making them a shit ton of money. Now, here's something that'll break your brain a little bit. In China, CS2 skins aren't just skins. They are like a prime investment vehicle. And because of laws in China, they're a legitimate asset. For a lot of young people out there, this is their stock. This is their crypto that we have in America. Go on their websites. They've got the charts. They've got the technical analysis. We've followed, but they've been doing this for years. They got the Discord groups talking about the same shit, but they have the volume and they have the influence to move the market. CS2 isn't just popular in China, it's completely massive, and partially due to the skin market. And where there's money and volume, there will be influencers. You know the type, the Tai Lopez's, here in my Lamborghini, escaping the 9 to 5 matrix, these motherfuckers. China has those too, except instead of affiliate marketing, they're talking about pumping CS2 skins. And unlike the United States influencers, these guys seem to actually be pretty smart. So here's what we're gonna do. Every week, in a separate segment, because it typically takes up too much time, what's going on the Chinese side of the Counter-Strike skin market. Because whether we like it or not, they have a direct influence on what we should buy and what our inventories look like price-wise. So in the future episodes, we'll cover the top movers, suspicious buying patterns, determining whether organic, and finding potential next plays by looking at accounts that are, anonymous. But today we have to establish a groundwork. Now we've already talked about Wind King on this channel before, and if you're not familiar, he was one of the most prominent skin pumpers in China over the summer. And while I'm sure he's still in the market in small doses, it seems that he's lost his influence to one gentleman in particular, who runs the game a little bit differently. The next play is a little bit harder to track, he's a little louder, he's a little flashier, and basically every single skin we've seen pumped over the last month is from his influence. So allow me to introduce CS2REU. One scroll through his Instagram and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Whipping around in a Maybach, exposing gold diggers, promising to make money in front of the gold diggers and his Maybach, the whole shebang. Now the lifestyle is cool, but eventually he figured out his audience are Counter-Strike players and he adapted accordingly. So now he cross-dresses as a Chinese girl and posts videos of him dancing with anime characters instead. That's your fault. And that seems to be working, because in the last month we've seen his portfolio go absolutely haywire with pretty much everything he's bought. Let's take a look at those 4 MP9s again. The MP9 Setting Sun, the MP9 Stained Glass, the MP9 Hydra, and the MP9 Dark Age. All seemingly random, but a video he posted showing he was color coordinating some pumps. The Hydra was part of the green skins, Setting Sun red and orange, Stained Glass blue, Dark Age black and white. Now, he hides behind the color coding of his loadouts to make his pumps seem a little bit more interesting. But much like Wind King, there is a pattern in which we can extrapolate from and make conclusions based on what's happened and what's going to happen next. Now, firstly, much like Wind King, starts with factory new. Eventually, they move into other wares if need be. However, factory new is their common source of what gets pumped, and you'll see why in a second. Second, discontinued. Much like Wind King, everything is discontinued. That way they don't have to worry about incoming supply in order to upkeep their total control on supply. They just need to keep buying until they reach 51% of the total supply. Their pool increased greatly over the last month as all cases in the rare drop pool were discontinued, which doesn't necessarily cap the incoming supply, but it puts a limit on the incoming supply. Third, the reason why they buy factory new, and the reason there is a method behind CSREUS pumps, is those damn float caps. Yes, these 4 M4s are color coordinated, but coincidentally, these 4 MP4s, and a lot of the other skins he's endorsed for pumping, all coincidentally have the best float cap in their rarity in their collection, which means they're the best for trade-ups, which means supply dwindles quicker. So this is a very intelligent way to pump and dump. He's selecting skins that will get pumped and dumped, and he can profit off of that alone. But in the aftermath, the liquidity and the demand stays exactly the same, because you still need that gun to trade up with. Right? They're fundamentally useful. We're not just pumping skins because they look cool. Trade up is the cake, the meat and potatoes. The pump and dump, that's the cherry on top. Because if you buy 300,000 MP9s and no one wants them, then you don't really make a profit. But if they're a good trade up fodder, then there'll always be demand, and you could eventually get rid of those 300,000 over time. Beyond that, he's pumped a lot of the Generation 1 gloves, the Crimson Weaves that were in the limelight for a while because of how much they increased in price. Seems to be CSREU's doing, or at least played a part in it, as well as the Glock Gamma Doppler, part of the Train 2021 collection, one of China's favorites to pump. Alright, so what can we do with this information? Now, everything on the Instagram right now, consider it already pumped. Don't FOMO in at the top. If you're going to buy back in, at least wait until there's a pullback of around 40 to 50%. Chinese buyers do like buying in waves, and I think they do like the pullbacks because it causes retail to sell at a loss, and then they buy more at a discounted price. You can also look at skins he's mentioned, but haven't seen significant movement yet. Typically, these skins go up 2x, 3x, so if they've only went up around 50 to 60%, you could pretty much guarantee yourself that there's going to be a little bit more upwards price movement. Now, it looks like they were color coordinated, but like I said in the DE news a couple nights ago, the MP9 Music Box looks good. Now, it follows all of the patterns that we just discussed regarding how CSREU picks his pump skins. It has the best float cap in the blues in the Mirage 2021 collection, and the colorway matches the Dark Age MP9 and, the black and white themed loadout. Worth a watch. 2 green skins that he mentioned along with the MP9 Hydra were the AUG Carved Jade, as well as the Galil ECO. Now, these have seen price movement, of course, but they haven't seen significant price movement. The Galil ECO in its top wear hasn't even really moved all too much, maybe like a 1.75x if I remember correctly. The AUG Carved Jade only had one pump, and it went up around $20 and went right back down. So that's one pullback. We can expect it to go up more, I believe. And now, since we know these patterns, we can apply that with our new Chinese manipulation bot. As I said, it's still gaining data as the days go by, but in a few weeks' time, we should be able to spot some of REU's pumps before they even happen. Now that we have our groundwork, we will now be able to efficiently and effectively cover the Chinese market every single week until they stop or until we're too rich to give a fuck anymore. Unnamed Steam accounts, weird buying action, any new influencers that pop up on Instagram, TikTok, whatever, and we'll look at collections and cases that look primed to move. We'll establish a few picks, maybe 1 to 3, based on if we have any conviction or not. If you have some other suggestions for segments you'd like to see in the videos, let me know in the Discord or in the comments, whatever you prefer. See you next week.